Today we're going to talk about estimating decimal products and quotients. All right, so the first way we can estimate a product is simply to round each of them. So take a look at example 1. Estimate 7 65/100 times 3 2/10. So now I'm going to round 7 65/100 to the nearest integer. That becomes 8. And 3 2/10 to the nearest integer becomes 3, and 8 times 3 is 24. This squiggle line here looks like an equal sign, but they're a little bit wavy. That means approximately equal to. Try this. All right, 4 72/100 times 1 8/10. Well, 4 72/100 to the nearest integer becomes 5. 1 8/10 becomes 2, and 5 times 2 is approximately 10. Easy, right? Take a look at example 2. 17 2/100 times 3 78/100 to the nearest integer, that is going to be 17. And this one is going to be 4. And 17 times 4 is approximately 68. Number 3, 8 25/100 to the nearest integer becomes 8, and 19 8/10 becomes 20. When that 9 increases by 1, it becomes a 10, so you have to go to the next place value. So 8 times 20 is 100, approximately, again, 160. Okay. Let's look at a word problem. Anne bought 6 yards of fabric to make a quilt. The fabric cost $6.75 per yard. That's what that slash there means. The sales clerk charged Anne $45.90 before the tax. Now remember, the tax makes the price go up. Did the clerk make a mistake? When I say explain, I want you to explain. So let's take a look here. Well, $6.75 is kind of close to the nearest integer. That would be $7. That is considered a high estimate because I rounded it up. So I know my actual cost is going to be less than that, but I brought it up. So that's going to be high per yard because it's less. It's actually $6.75. Now I bought 6 yards, so I'm going to take that 7 and multiply it by 6, and that's $42. That's the most it can be. It's actually going to be less than that. So the clerk did make a mistake because $42 is a high estimate before the tax is added on. All right, so look, try number 4. You buy 8 bags of chips for a picnic. Okay, so you got 8 bags of chips. For each bag costs $4.79. Remember, there's that magic word, each bag costs $4.79. Estimate, that means I don't want the actual answer. The cost of the chips before the tax. So what we have here is $4.79 times 8. Well, this is approximately $5 times 8. Your chips are approximately around $40. Okay? Look for those magic words, please. All right, let's take up the next thing, estimating quotients. Definitely a little bit more difficult. Compatible numbers, we've worked with these in the past, are numbers that are easy to divide. And you want to be able to do it mentally. If you're pulling up paper and pencil, it's not really a great estimation. First, round the divisor. That's the number you're dividing by. And then round the dividend to being a compatible number with it. It's your times tables. So take a look at example 3. A bowling ball has a mass of 5 61/100 kilogram. A bowling pin has a mass of 1 57/100 of a kilogram. How many bowling pins are about the same mass as the bowling ball? So I want to know how many would it take of the bowling pins to make the bowling ball, or I could take the bowling ball and divide it by the number of pins. And that's what I'm going to do. The bowling ball's mass is 5 61/100, and the pin is 1 57/100. This rounds to approximately 6, and this rounds to approximately 2. And 6 divided by 2, it would be roughly 3 bowling pins. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this. Now, you're going to try number 5, 38 and 9/10 divided by 1 and 79 hundredths. All right, so I'm going to go to the nearest integer. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong one. I start with the divisor, 1 and 79 hundredths. That is approximately 2. Now, I want a compatible number with 2. I could bring this up to 40, but even a better estimate here would be, leave that as 38. I'm looking for an even number because that's 2. That's actually closer than bringing it up to 40. I would accept either one. Okay, and then we have 38 divided by 2 is approximately 19. The other way, we would have gotten 20, so they're close. Look at number 6, 11 and 95 hundredths divided by 2 and 1/10. Again, this is going to round to 2, and so I'm looking for a number that's divisible by 2, an even number. 11 and 95 hundredths, that's really close to 12, and that's going to be approximately 6. And look at number 7, 85 and 52 hundredths divided by 4 and 25 hundredths. So this is going to round to 4. Notice I am always estimating the divisor first. 85 and 52 hundredths. Now this, little bit harder one. I want to think about, one, my 4 times tables, but this is a very large number, 85. I could go to 80 and my answer would be 20, but I also know I could go to 84. Why? Well, 4 divides into 8 twice and 4 divides into 4 once. So a better one would be 21. All right, let's take a look at example 4. Is 2 and 15 hundredths a reasonable quotient for 17 and 931 thousandths divided by 8 and 34 hundredths? Well, first round this. This becomes 8. Then I want to use a compatible number of 8. So 17 and 931 thousandths, well, I'm going to round that down to 16 because 8 divides into 16 twice. So would this be a good estimate? Sure it is, because 2 is close to 2 and 15 hundredths. Now notice, this is greater than what I got here. And this, I rounded down. Therefore, this is a low estimate. So my answer, I know, would actually be a little bit higher, and that's what that is. So yes, that would be considered reasonable. Okay, use estimation. Is each quotient reasonable? So 1 and 564 thousandths divided by 2 and 3/10. Well, this is going to be 2. And this is going to be 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now notice, this I rounded down. Okay, and this I rounded up. My actual answer here is going to be less than 1. Because I divided by something that is greater. Okay, this number is larger than this number, therefore my answer has to be less than 1, and that's what 68 hundredths is. So yes, that is good. Look over here, 26 and, 454 10,000ths divided by 4 and 98 hundredths. Well, I'm going to round, this one's easy, this becomes 5. And my 5 times tables, this I would round to about 25. Okay, bring it down a little bit. And 25 divided by 25 is approximately 5. So is 52 and 3/10 reasonable? No. Decimal's in the wrong spot. If you tell me 5 and 23 hundredths, then I would say okay. And that's it. All right? Good luck.